Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I am David Allen, or if you like, Super Dave. We have a really good episode today. We're doing a special twofer episode. We're covering both the 110 Cobra Hiss Fire Team 788, and we are going to cover the Cobra Hiss HMS with Techno Viper set as well. So we are covering 110 and 111 both in this video. So it's going to be a special deluxe episode, and I got a lot to say about these. It's going to be a fun episode. So let's get into this. Obviously, we've done our episode on the classified Hiss HasLab. It's up there in that corner. You can kind of see it from here. And so Hasbro, I guess they wanted to give some more stuff to connect to that, because that is a troop builder vehicle where you can put figures inside. Not a lot of figures, but you can fit some in there, and you can fit some in different places on top. And it came with a bunch of figures already. It came with the Hiss driver, the Hiss the Hiss gunner, and the Hiss tactician. So this way you have with the 110 Cobra Hiss officer, range viper, and infantry, you now would have a whole squad to go with your Hiss. So it's the fire team squad to go with that HasLab. And then also there's a towable situation on the back of the Hiss where you can tow a figure, where you can put the HMS, and it could be towable, and you could use the Techno Viper. So altogether you would end up with two vehicles, like 7 figures. So that's a whole squad, Hiss 788 squad, that you can infiltrate or face any kind of foe or whatever, go up against any G.I. Joe team. So it's a completely new idea from Classified and G.I. Joe. Yes, we did get the HMS prior to this, and that's why I have it right here. This is the first version of the HMS that we got through the Rise of Cobra, and it had a movie Viper, and it had scrap iron. But before this, it was never released as a Cobra related vehicle. There was G.I. Joe versions of it, the MMS, but that's a completely different thing. So this faction that the Classified line created is completely new. The fire team, 788 fire team. So let's get into this first set, because this is going to take us a little while. We got a lot to get through here. So right off the bat, we're going to have the Cobra Hiss officer, the range viper, and the infantry. So we've gotten obviously both of those before, and the range viper as well. I love this red and black package to kind of give a callback to the Hiss and their package. It's a beautiful red package. If I had more space, I would have brought that out, but I don't really have a lot of space on here. So then you have the call out 110, and we are up to 110, and some beautiful red and black and different shaded artwork of the team in there. Looks really, really nice. And then we have that call out that was on the package as well from the Hiss package, the Semper Fidelis Serpents logo there. And then we have the Cobra Hiss, again, 788, and it says Mark GH7C, which is also a tampo and sticker on the Hiss as well. And then this is really good. It's a really cool call out to the package, the Hiss package as well. Looks really beautiful, and I love all the detail in this, and the creepy vibes that kind of gives it like a I guess a weird, like militaristic kind of techno military vibe. And then we also have the blueprints and the renders for all the figures on the back. We have the Cobra Hiss officer, the Cobra Hiss range viper, and the Cobra Hiss infantry. And as you can see, there's all kinds of accessories and gear with each of these. So it's going to be really cool to open all these up to see what the differences is between their regular versions and the 788 versions. And then there's also renders for each of them as well. It looks like most of the renders are their original renders for their original figure. So I'm not sure if we will go into that much, but we can look at it a little bit because this is going to take a little while to go through all this. All right, so there you go. Let's open that guy up and we'll see what we got. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us today. All right, so right off the bat, all red and black and gray, really cool looking. And then we have a big locker, Cobra Hiss locker there, 110. Cobra Hiss fire team, it says on there. And 110 again, and that artwork there. So put that there. Put this box down here. So we will take these out of here. See if we can get. Take me a little bit. So again, we started with 00 Snake Eyes. We are now up to 110. We've done 15 vintage packaged. We started our Legacy 60th anniversary and Legacy collections as well. We've done the first one of that. We've done some odds and ends with the Fortnite Snake Eyes and the couple of the running variants along the way. So we're moving right along. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming up in the next set of videos. We got something that's going to be really awesome. A whole bunch of new characters. So if you guys get the opportunity to check those videos out, please do. And if you can't watch them and you want to check them out on the replay, be my guest. I appreciate that as well. It helps this channel grow. Sharing these videos is important right now, trying to get the channel to grow. We're on our way to the 200 subs point now. So there you go. Let's see. So get this one out of there. There. All right, so here we go. We have 3 new fire team figures. Infantry, range viper, and officer, I believe. Yeah. Yep. Infantry, officer, and range viper. All right, let's look at the first one. We'll take this stuff and put it over there. Look at the range viper first. So we got the range viper not too long ago. It was in I think the 90s. It was one of the Walmart Night Force exclusive figures. So it was a very difficult figure to get. People had a hard time getting a lot of those Walmart figures because they're exclusive. And so now we get a new range viper. He's got a lot of its deco callouts to the 788 Hiss range. but they changed up a few different details. There's a lot of tampos, like that 788 tampo there. I don't know if you can see that or not. 788. And then there's a hiss tampo there on the front. And then there's a that Semper Fidelis tampo there on that shoulder. So he's got a bunch of new tampos that are newer for this figure. They redid his mask. They gave him a black sheen paint deco on the mask there. So it looks a lot darker and creepier. They kept with that black and red theme for this 788 team, and they made his hat, his hair, his back of his thing gray, which the blue one also was gray, like a light brain color. But I like this one really a lot because there's a lot of red deco in the face and the mask and the eyes there. Can see that. There's a lot of different layering with the Range Viper. There's some brighter red. There's a darker red. There's like a lighter gray, darker gray, and an even darker gray. There's also some black. So there's a lot of different layering. Like this shirt that he's got on there is a much darker black color that's kind of like his boots, but it's not all black. But his gloves are all black, and he has that little watch on again on that side as a secondary, and he's got another secondary belt that has some loops and some ammunition pouches on there that are really cool. He's got a secondary on his right leg with ammunition pouches and on his left leg as well. So we're not going to go detailed into these, but it's very similar to the first version that we got with all the same articulation points, butterflied shoulders, double pinned elbows, knees, the foot rockers, the ankle articulation, the wrist articulation, the crotch and leg articulation, the ab crunch underneath the secondary there, the head rocker, and the thigh and calf articulation for the most part. So there you go. That's him. And then we have I believe this is the officer. So the officer is basically the Cobra officer done up in black and red and deco. Looks pretty similar. I would have to get a better look at the actual officer to see if there's any difference, but I don't think there is. I think they're pretty much the same. But I do like the balance of the red and blacks on this one. He's a lot more red and black and dark gray. There's a sheen in some of those armor parts on his knees and his gauntlets and his feet and stuff like that in his costume with his a lot of his stuff all with that black sheen that's on the front of the the Range Viper's mask with that skull. But it looks really cool overall, and I like a lot of the layering on the helmet there, and the edges and the mask and stuff like that with that rebreather. Looks really good. I think they did a really good job. The balancing of these colors and his secondary. He's got one big secondary that has a bunch of pouches and stuff like that. No holsters on this one, from what I can tell. Just a lot of detail in that secondary, and a lot on his arms, and those gauntlets have details, a lot of details on them. They have the little Cobra emblem on there. Hello, Clement. Good morning. So there you go. And there's a lot of layering with the pants and the back of that secondary and stuff like that. Looks really good, though, I must say. So then we have the Cobra Infantry. So this is another one that's very similar to several versions of this figure we've gotten. We've gotten the Python version and we got the regular version. Very similar sculpt and everything. Just the deco again is a little bit different. Some light gray, some black, some reds. They made his mask gray. Um, Good morning, Lego Star Wars kid. Thanks for joining us. So a lot of these, I like what they do when they do the eye printing of that. The there looks really menacing in these. They do. I like them a lot. The eyes. So there you go. So again, a secondary on his waist with a hole with a sheath, and a secondary on his chest as well. Um, this one's a little bit wonky because he was in the package a little crooked, so I'm kind of straightening him out. He also has gauntlets and stuff on his arms, and he's got a similar chest plate to the infantry or the officer, not the infantry. He's the infantry. Um, but I like again, I like the red and black updates on him. He looks really nice with all that red and black. I think it's a good balance again of that. These guys, they do a really good job balancing the deco and the coloring of all this stuff. I'm very happy with it. So then we're going to get into some of their accessories because we got a lot to get through. So we're going to go through this. If I can get this open. So we got one red bag, Cobra and Joe bag with the Lego, Indisi, and Gobbledygook there. Then we have another bag. Then a third bag. So we're going to go into each of these and we'll get them all set up. Let's see. And then we'll put this back in there. We'll put the legal stuff back in there. And it is empty. So that's good. So we got that and that. Put that back over here out of the way because we're going to need the space. I'm not sure which one these are, but well, I'm going to try to get them in order the way that I did it. And then, well, let's see. All right, so we got a little cardboard thing there. We got a backpack with that missile backpack that I think we've seen. Bazooka and somebody else, maybe the Snow Serpent had it. And we have this big Gatling gun. And now, remember when I talk about hardball, and I always say all the parts are there to make hardball, the future proofing of this line, all the parts for hardball. But look, there's the Gatling gun. There's hardball's Gatling gun. Unless they give him a much bigger Gatling gun, I don't know. But that's the Gatling gun that I would put with hardball. But this one is a little bit is problematic with that. Can you tell what the problem is with that? Yeah, it's a little gummy. It's a little bendy. So I'll try to bend it back. They still haven't gotten to the main to fix these accessories yet. So we'll put that over there. What else do we have in here? Boy, there's a lot of gear with this guy. All right, so that's the end of that package there. So we got a bunch of missiles. We got cool classic gun detail. I think we've seen this gun a couple times. We have a rifle. I think we've seen this rifle as well. A lot of cool detail in that. There's no deco hits on any of these weapons for this stuff. Cool. Then we have two different pistols. Smaller pistol and a longer pistol. So we got two different pistols there. And then we have an axe. We also have a sai there. And then we have a little dagger with a little deco on that, silver deco there. Good morning, Sean Jones. Thanks for joining the chat again this morning. Talking about 788 Fire Team and 788 HMS with Techno Viper today. We're doing a twofer large video, so I hope you enjoy. And then we have all the missiles. So we'll put all the missiles in the backpack there. That'll be the first thing we do, because that'll be the easiest thing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that was the first thing. We got all of the missiles in there. Sean Jones, your GameStop still has one of these sets. Hoping it goes on sale for Black Friday. Yeah, I would definitely get it because it's probably going to be hard to get. These are not common. These Fire Team sets, they're not common at all. So the fact that you have one there, I would definitely get it. Try to use whatever points you can through GameStop if you have any points available or something to make it cheaper. But I would definitely get it. It's a really cool set. And then we have another rifle, and this has a little Gatling thing attached to it there, which we've seen a little gold Gatling bullet cartridges, and you can see the bullet sticks through there. A lot of really cool detail with this rifle there. All right, let's see. I'm going to look at the package to make sure I put this on the right figure. The one that has all the missiles. So the one with the missiles, says that it's some of it goes to the officer, some of it goes to the range viper, and some of it goes to the officer, the infantry and officer. So there's a mixture in every bag. They're not all for one person. So this one goes to the infantry. This goes to the infantry. I'm going to have to use this to help me because they go to different, all the accessories go to different people. So they're saying this goes to the infantry. So that is this guy. He's the infantry. So I'm going to put him on there. There. And that is all that goes to him. And then this Gatling gun is supposed to go to the range viper. And the range viper gets, let's see, the range viper gets this little gun here. There. So I thought it was like all one person in each package, but it's all separate. So then there's, he also gets the axe. So I'm guessing the axe. I'm going to put the axe on the back here of him on the range viper. See if that goes in there. Doesn't really go in there. So no, I don't see that. Let's see. It's $96 currently. I think it was in the 86 range when I bought it, but GameStop is a higher price from that, Sean Jones. So I don't know. Clement, Dave, can you show me the back of the box of the figure? This? You want this, Clement? And then this is the front. All right, so maybe the psi can go in there. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll put the psi in that one. there. Yeah, the sai. I got the sai in there. So then, what else? And then the knife goes on this guy in. He has a sheath there, I guess. The knife goes there. Then he has a little holster here. So let's see that there. There. So this weapon goes to him. There. The Gatling gun goes to the range Viper, which makes sense that he would have that. Try to get this to go like that. There. That. There. Let's see. So this rifle here also goes to the range Viper. This one goes to him. Now he comes with this X, but he doesn't have a backpack to put with it yet. So we'll have to wait. So we have some extra accessory right off the top there. All right, let's get into package 2. Because they're mixing and matching all the accessories. They're not all the same in every pack. So let's see what we have here based on the secondaries. So we have this. We'll open that up in a minute. We have a helmet. I think it's the one that goes with the infantry helmet. And then the one that goes with the officer helmet there with the chevron on the front there. Then we have this backpack that has that rifle holster for it. Put that there. And then we have a lot of blast effects. A lot of blast effects in this pack. And then we also have that bullet harness that goes on the range Viper. They made it a little bit brown with some deco on that. And then a ton of blast effects. And then that Shamrock, red Shamrock for the range Viper as well. So those will go on the range Viper. And then all kinds of blast effects, blue blast effects, red blast effects with some white highlights. You can see all these blast effects there that I have in my hand. I'm going to put all the blast effects over there. I'm going to put this on the range Viper. Clement, wow, Dave, the box art is very beautiful. Yeah, it is. They've been doing a really good job with the box art on a lot of these, Clement. I have to say I agree with you there because their team, their art team is just incredible. I've got to say. So let's see. Now I put his hand in there. Now I got to take his hand out because I got to put that bullet holster on there. Let's see. There. All right, I got that bandolier on there, that bullet bandolier with his Gatling gun. You can See that on there? Okay, so then we have this backpack. Let's see what's this is. Open that up. No, we don't need that. And it has some sort of a tube that connects to a mask. And there's a little bit of deco on that. There's some bullets on there, and there's a little bitty light there with some red deco in that there. Looks really cool. This is for the range viper. It connects since he's got a helmet. So I'm guessing that's going to go there on him. And then we'll find out where that mask tube goes. Let's see. So this tube, yeah, it goes in the back of his head there. You can get it in there. With all these secondaries and bandoliers and all this stuff that's on him, it's hard to get this backpack to stay. That's one of the issues I do have with classified is the backpacks are very difficult. They do not stay very well. But we have that on him temporarily for the time being. You can see that on there. Sean Jones. I wish they would have stuck with one style or the other with the art direction. Well, it's a toy line, so they're going to always change packaging. I know the packaging, it's been all over the place, but at least all the packaging for this wave, the HISS HasLab, the 788 fire team, and the HMS all kind of match. So you can kind of put certain things together and match them up, like the Dreadnoughts or this or that. You could kind of match it. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't like the fact that the packaging has changed so often, and it's going to change again. We're about to hit, actually, I think we already did hit one item that showcased the new packaging, and we're going to go into a new style packaging very soon in a couple of episodes. And I'm not happy. I like the previous one with the photography artwork on the front. I know some people don't like that because you can't see the stuff inside and so on and so forth, but if you're pre-ordering it online or this or that, it doesn't make a difference. Only if you're going to buy it at Walmart or maybe Target will you have a problem with that. Everybody else, I don't think Big Bag Toy Store has that issue. I don't think any of the online, Entertainment Earth, GameStop, Amazon, none of them have that issue. It's just like Walmart and Target because they take returns. So they swap things out. And, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. But there's the backpack for him. So I'll put him over there for now. And then this is the gray backpack, I believe. It doesn't show that he has a backpack, but I know this backpack goes to this guy here, the officer, because he has that shotgun, that additional shotgun that goes with him. And I have it in his hands right now, in fact. So I can take that one out and put it in here in his backpack. If I can get the backpack in there. Yeah, I got the backpack in there. So I can take that rifle out of there. It's one of those lifelong debates, Sean Jones, about that sort of stuff. So you can put that there like that. And then you can give him his more traditional gun like this. That's going to be a debate that we're going to be arguing about the packaging forever, because I don't know, will they change the packaging again? They've held on. I think the packaging that's coming up next, I think that's probably the longest time that we've had one particular style of packaging, because it's starting with like it started with the 60th anniversary, and it's starting with, I would say, 113, and we're into the late 80s. So that's like more than I don't know, let's see, 13, 23, 23, 33, 43, 53, 63, 73, 83. So that's about 75 figures and items that we've gotten from that situation. So I think, good morning, Lone Dragon. Thank you for joining us. Lego Star Wars kid. I just got another his tank, so I'll need to get another 788 fire team. Wow, good job on you, Lego Star Wars kid. You're gonna have a lot of cool squads. You're gonna be able to do that artwork. You know the artwork that's on the packaging and stuff like that. That's on this packaging. You're going to be able to do that in photography. If you were really good with photography and you used a red light on your camera or whatever, you could probably get away with some of this photography. Um, uh, if I was good at that, that's what I would do. I think it would be totally awesome with figures to try and do that. Um, Sean Jones, you're just a box collector, but open my doubles for customs and main favorites to display. Ah, I see. Okay. Well, that's fine. All right, so let's see. This is the one that goes on him, the one with the red, and there's a lot of red deco and striping and cool separation on that. There's that chevron on the front there, and they have the 788 fire team on that side. So that's the one that's going to go on this guy here, there. All right, and then there's a black one with some red and a little bit of a tampo, a little deco there, and some red stripes. That's going to go on the one that's mostly black. And I'll put that on him there. There. So now you have both of these guys with their helmets on. Let's see. Dave, how long have you been a fighter collector? A figure collector, you're talking about? I would say since my childhood, since I was maybe a very little kid, 6, 7, 5, I don't know, whatever my mom could get me for Christmas or whatever we could get through Toys for Tots in the 70s and 80s. I look younger than what I actually am, but I'm actually in my 50s. But I don't look my 50s. So I've been collecting for a very, very long time, Clement, since I was, I would say, 4 or 5 years old. Mom got me toys and stuff for Christmas, my birthdays, and then again for Christmas we got stuff from Toys for Tots. So being a specific collector, like of say something like GI Joe, I would say I started collecting GI Joe around 8 years old as a specific line. Or maybe 10 years old, and then I lost all my collection because we moved and I had to make a decision, and I reacquired it later in life. So I've been collecting toys pretty much my whole life, is as a child and then as a teenager and then as an adult. So I've never not collected toys and action figures and stuff like that in some capacity my entire life. Hopefully that answers your question, Clement. All right, so then let's see. We still have 2 guns and an axe over here. We'll hold on to them. So then we have one more package. Let's see. We have one more package. Let's see what's in this one. All right. So we got some really large blast effects, which I don't know what this blast effect is for. I guess it goes with the bazooka. Maybe it goes to the bazooka. These 2 blast effects goes with that big bazooka. Looking for 50 plus, Dave. Toys must be your fountain of youth. Yeah, it is. It makes me look younger. It makes me feel younger when I talk about toys and I hang out with people that aren't toy collectors, and I can chat about this stuff. It keeps me young because that stress is a killer. So if you can keep that stress away as long as possible, it's like the Grim Reaper stress. So try to keep that away by doing hobbies. You know, I remember when I was a kid, you would see people doing hobbies of like miniatures. They would get miniature armies and miniature figurines and they would paint them, or they would collect stamps or they would collect coins. When I was a child, that was what people did, adults did. Obviously, they were into sports and they were into other things like that, but that's what they did when I was young. And now this is what our generation is doing. And I am technically Generation X, according to all the generations. My generation is Generation X. So that's what we do. Maybe a lot of that other stuff is still going on. There's a lot more other hobbies than that nowadays, but that's just my 2 cents on the subject. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Clement. Hold on to that. Hold on to that and try to keep that as young as possible, yourself as young as possible. All right. Then there's our bazooka. So now we've gotten this bazooka several times with bazooka. And this one's a gray one with some red deco on there for the outer patches for the pads and stuff like that. So there. And then we have the bazooka cap. There's the bazooka cap again with gray. We'll put the bazooka cap on here. There, bazooka cap. And then we have some effects there. So we have all those accessories. Since this guy's got the missiles, I'm going to give him the bazooka. Give him the bazooka, and we will set him up. Oops, his backpack just fell off. I'll get that in a minute. There. So we have the bazooka on that one, and I got to get his backpack. And that's the end of that package. There. Oh. So let's get that back on there. All right. So we're going to put some stands on these guys. Let's see. So I can stand them up. 1, 2, 3. 3 stands. Yeah. Start with the Range Viper. Yeah. Okay, so we have the Range Viper there. Then we have the Officer. All right, so then we have that in there. Turn that like that. So then we have the Officer there. And then we have the Infantry. So these are going to look really cool together. At some point, maybe I'll show like a picture or something like that on my socials with the whole fire team with everybody together. I think it would be really cool with the towable and everything that goes included when this is all said and done. It looks really cool. I wonder if they would add more fire team members down the road. That's an interesting situation there, whether they would do that or not. Let's see. There. So you have your infantry, your alley viper, your range viper, and your officer. So they're all ready to go. And we still have a bunch of extra equipment. We're going to put that back in here in the weapons crate so we don't lose it. We may actually need these missiles, so I'm going to leave the missiles out. I'm going to put this stuff back in here, and then we'll move on to our next one. There. Leave that over there. I'm going to move him over here so he's out of the way so we don't knock into him accidentally. Okay, so put those there. All right, so there you go. There's your fire team. There's your 788 fire team, and then now we're going to go into the HMS with the Techno Viper for the 788 fire team as well, which again, beautiful artwork. I really like it. It really connects to that theme that they were building for this. We have that really cool Techno Viper there, 111. Then the blueprints on the back with the missiles and everything, and the Cobra Hiss, Techno Viper, and HMS heat-seeking missile system. So there's a difference in the MMS from the HMS. They changed it. And then the Cobra Semper Fidelis logo again, and the Cobra Hiss team. And that's everything, I think. So let's get this puppy opened up, see what we got. There's our weapons crate. Our weapons crate: Cobra Hiss, Technical Viper, HMS, and HMS heat-seeking missile system. There. 111, Cobra Hiss, and the 111 again with the handles and stuff. We'll put that back there for the time being. We'll get that out in a minute. And let's see. Again, these are all being opened for the very first time with this. This is all first time we're opening any of these figures and any of these play sets. So then, let's see. So there's your layout here of that. Let's see. There. So we got two big tires. Two big tires. There. And then we have a bunch of straps. So let's get this stuff out of there with their straps first. This is going to be really cool. Now, one of the interesting things about this set is once this got revealed, and that's one of the interesting things about future building, future predictions of things. You can almost guess what is coming after something else comes out because of the accessories, the build of the figure, the version of the figure that is coming out, and vehicles as well. So sometimes when you get a vehicle, you're like, well, they're going to do this version of the vehicle. And that was the case with this, which was the HMS. We knew as soon as this came out that we're going to get the MMS, which is the Joe equivalent. And it would come with, we weren't sure if it was going to come with a Hawk or somebody else, but it came with a vintage Hawk. So there's your Techno Viper. And I love the, again, he's got a lot of the same deco themed hits on him from the other figures, the blacks and grays and reds and silvers and darker grays and dark shades of darker or lighter shades of black and so on. He looks really cool in that deco, I must say. I like it a lot. Techno Viper is one of my favorite troop builder characters, and I love the fact that they did a different version and they made him a different kind of iteration to go with the HMS or the HMS thing. We'll get a little bit more into him in a little while. We'll get all this stuff opened up first. All right, so let's see. So there's that's the thing about a lot of these vehicles. So once this came out, we were like, okay, so we got the HMS, so we're gonna get the MMS, but who is it gonna go with? Is it gonna be Hawk? Is it gonna be somebody else? And because they were trying to build out that OG13 line, it made sense that it was going to be another version of Hawk, because Hawk he's got a bunch of versions. There's 5 or 6 versions of Hawk. Oops, there goes my guys. I hit them and they went over like dominoes. Let's get him back up there. Yeah. Get him back up there. All right. So let's see what else. We have this superstructure here. There. So yeah, and so that goes for the same with a lot of these figures. Is a lot of the stuff we knew we were going to get, like Python Patrol and so on and so forth. This was obviously a completely new faction. We didn't know we were going to get more of these when the HISS HasLab was presented to us at I guess Yojo June in the year 2023. I guess the HISS tank came out. Is just then we have that. So it was a little bit of a surprise when we did get that. But we didn't know we were going to get all these. So this is a pleasant surprise, in my opinion, pleasant surprise that we got these to go along with that and to create a theme to play with our HISS tanks, to give a little bit more modularity to the squad, to give a little bit more added effect, because you can put a towable, and that was one of the things that people were like, well, we need a towable, we need this, we need that for the HISS tank, because why would you add a towable if you weren't going to have something be towed in the future? So that's what I'm talking about when I'm always talking about future proofing. So the fact that they added that towable aspect to the HISS tank meant they were planning for this stuff. So people were during the HasLab campaign, they were trying to figure out what would be something that we would get. They wanted it with the HasLab, but it was not included in the HasLab. Ended up being a separate thing later, obviously. Good morning, Terrence Child. Did you know that there is a Dreadnought smell away Skyhawk that changes colors? Do you have it? I've not heard of that. There's you're saying there's a Dreadnought smell away Skyhawk? Is that the there are 2 Dreadnought sets that were Sears exclusives in the 80s. One was the ground assault, one was the air assault, and the Skyhawk, I believe, was one of the vehicles in the air assault, but I don't know if it smelled differently. I've not heard that, but it could have been a convention exclusive, something, because there was a lot of exclusives in the 2000s for conventions, for JoeCon and stuff like that. So there may have been something else that I'm not familiar with. Terrence Childs, it's the do you have the Dreadnought mail away Skyhawk? It's from the 1980s. I found out it actually changes colors. I have the ground assault Skyhawk. I don't know if I have a mail away version, and I didn't know that it changed colors. There's a water, like a Dreadnought water vehicle. that does kind of change colors, but I don't think that was a mail away. I think that was a mainline vehicle that you could buy at retail. It was a Dreadnought Swamp type vehicle. If you give me a minute, I will. After we're done with this, I'll pull that out, Terrence Child, and I'll showcase that vehicle. I'll have to find it. It's in here somewhere. I'll have to go look for it. So then we have first we're going to show off these 3 missiles, and it says on there, um, Heat Seek Heat Seek X03 with the Cobra logo on there. Can you see that logo there? Heat Seek X03. So all these missiles, it's on both sides. It's on both sides. So all the missiles have that, and there's 3 missiles, right? So then we have this superstructure here, and there's tons of detail on this. There's a computer panel with a lot of colored deco on there of different tubes and lights, and there's a little tampo there. It says 65 with lights, little red tampos for the lights, then a little warning tampo that says danger there, Sempus Fidelis tampo there, lots of tampos and stuff on this side. One of them, these are just different, I guess, designations here for it. That 65 again, those lights again, and then up here it says wheel lock adjust with a little computer thing, so you can lock the wheels, and then that danger tampo again there. Then there's some color deco with that fan there. They made it a different color. There's the gray color deco there on that the wheel apparatuses there. On the back, there's a lot of deco for these legs here as well. The legs are a little bit flat black, whereas this superstructure is shiny black. It says stand back there, and there's some lights and a couple of designations again, and it says caution on both sides here and here with the lights. So that's interesting. So then we have this part. This is the missile launching part. It has anti-jam with a whole bunch of words there, and it says anti-aircraft joint asset movement system, and a bunch of different numbers with hydraulic launch elevation mod and serial number, and the serial number. Then there's a big light there, and then it has that anti-jam with all those words again on that side. So we're going to try to get this on here. See if this can go in there. There, I got it on. So I'm not sure which way this missile system's supposed to go. Let's look at the box again. We'll see how it's supposed to go to make sure. We kind of got a blueprint of this on the back. So according to this, if you look at that way, so I have it backwards. So the jam goes that way. Goes like that. Yeah, goes like that. All right, so that's good. I like these blueprints because they help me figure out where the things are supposed to go. So then we have these big gray wheels that have a couple of, that's a mouthful, yeah. It's a good thing I read a lot. And I read comics a lot. I read graphic novels, and I read a lot of other stuff, novels and things. So my English language is pretty good. All right, so there's a lot of different. There's 2 different decos on this. There's the rubbery deco and then the gray interior deco. So I'm going to put that on there. So I highly recommend that everybody reads. Reading is fundamental, and it's good for you, and it helps you later in life. It opens up so many doors and so many passages for the future for anybody that wants to do anything in their life if they read and they are able to understand language. So that's just my 2 cents. My PSA for the day. All right, so let's see. Then we'll put these back up. We'll do that for now. and we'll put the missiles on there. Now there's these little dog bone attachment there. Can you see that? On each missile. So I'm going to put them on here on the HMS. So they go this way. There. Try and get them in there really snug. All right. So there you go. I have the missiles on there. I have the superstructure, I have the wheels, I have that launching apparatus all on there together so far. But there is more to this. I don't have everything on there yet. I think there's more stuff in this weapons crate. So let's we'll wait for the figure in just a minute. We're going to open this up. So of course we have the Joe Cobra packages again. 2 of them. 1, 2. So we'll put one over here, one there, and then we have the Indicia again, legal, and that is it. That's in there. So we'll put that aside. Put that back over here. There. We'll open this one up. See what's in it. There. So we have some sort of a towing apparatus or a gadget. So we'll get that. We'll put that on there in a little while. And then we have a rifle. Put that over there. We have a little plate for some gears and some engine type stuff. Put that over there. We have a really cool silver tube deco. We have a cool backpack with some deco, colored different deco there. We have, let's see, different tools, Techno Viper tools there, really cool. Now another tool, Techno Viper tool. Really cool laser gun there. And then we have a little technical pad for him to do his work on. That has a lot of really cool detail in it, I must say. See all that detail in there, computer detail. All right, so that's the end of that package. There. So we're going to try and put this towable thing on here. Let's see. It has a little tiny claw thing that you can attach. And I'm guessing this steel gridding would be up. So we're going to try to attach that to there. See if that works. And there's a little ratcheting part there that connects to that. And it goes like that. So that can be towed. So there you go. So now you can put this with your hiss and it can be towed. And it I think it goes in like that, so it stays on like that. So there you go. And well, something just fell. I don't know what that was that fell. Oh, one of the missiles. One of these little missiles fell. So these missiles, they kind of go behind here like this. Kind of like that. We'll have to pull that other missile out of there. All right, so then we got another package. Let's see what's in that one. We have a leg stand, a little stand for the leg to hold it in place. And then we have another one. So we have two of these leg stands to hold it in place. All right. So let's see. So if you look at the side of this, there's little attachments on either leg, 1 and 2. So these must go in those. So again, there's a little gripper there. So that little gripper, I'm guessing, has to be attached on there. And then it raises up. Let's see. There, like that. So you can raise it up and down like that. Except I did not get it on there very good. Let's try this one more time. There. All right. Now you hear that click, and it has a ratcheting. So it goes like that. And then we'll put the second one on. There, you hear that click? So then it goes like that. So when it's being towed, they're up. But when it's not being towed, you can go like this, there, and then these in the front come down like that. And then it stands on its own as a weapon system like that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, I must say. All right, let's get into my Techno Viper now. So based on the numbers in the line, this Techno Viper technically came first. And again, they are future-proofing the line. So we got a Techno Viper with the HMS. So we knew we were going to get a regular Techno Viper at some point. It just stands to reason. You would get another Techno Viper, a regular vintage version of Techno Viper. And so we do end up getting one down the line fairly shortly. In fact, not that far away do we get another Techno Viper. But this one is really cool. It gave us a lot of hints as to what we're going to get with the other one, because it has this little ARM computer there with a lot of tampo detail inside of there. And there's also one on that side as well. Then there's all these silver tubes and stuff that's all over him, and some really cool deco in the mask with those lights on his eyes. Yeah, it is. It is red and red and black and gray is really one of my favorite deco styles. That's a thing that I forgot to mention for the. Oh yeah, I did mention it for the HasLab. You could vote on that tactician and the different ideations, and I voted on the black and red because I just thought it looked cooler, and because it's part of the HISS, and the HISS is black and red. I thought, hey, that makes sense that you would put a black and red tactician with it. Yeah, purple is cool too. That's why the Techno Viper is one of my favorite vintage troop builders. It's because I like that purple aspect. It looks really neat. So I agree with you, Sean Jones. Where our likes are very similar, you and I. So then there's some really cool detail in the shoulder pauldrons with this guy on all the sides of him, and on the chest. There, they got that big Cobra logo and a lot of detail in this secondary belt. And he's got a secondary holster on his left thigh as well. So overall, this is a very well balanced figure. It looks really good. I'm very, very happy. But I'm also very excited to get to that vintage version because obviously I love that. So let's look at some of the equipment that he has. So we have this weapons, this cover. So I think the cover goes on here. So I'm going to try to get it on there where that computer is. Yep. So that goes right in there, that cover. So then we have Techno Viper's backpack. We're going to put that on there. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of really cool deco on the backpack. There's some red tubes, which is probably like hydraulic tubes. And then there's a little silver there where that tube probably connects that tube connecting apparatus. So we're going to take the big silver tube with that deco, and we're going to try to attach it to here to his backpack. There's one. And so then he has that familiar laser gun. I would like to have gotten that laser deco since they did it with the earlier versions of Classified. I would have liked to have gotten that laser coloring there. That tube connects there on there. So we'll put that on there. There. And because he's a Techno Viper, a lot of this stuff is for like equipment. So those hydraulic things are for the equipment. So that gives you different air for the hydraulic um, uh, tubes in the back. So he can do different things with this. So he looks really awesome like that. I'm going to try to put his arm down a little bit like this. There. Let me see. I'm going to rearrange that tube. I'm going to have the tube come on the outside because it's a little too tight. There. That's a little bit looser for that tube. I don't want it to pop out and damage it. So there. So depending upon what arm you have him utilizing his weapon, it could go on either side. There's two different spots for two different tubes there. Lone Dragon. I didn't get a fire team, but I did get 2 of the fire team range vipers in a trade. Haven't even opened my SMS yet. Well, you should. It's awesome. Hopefully this video will show you how awesome it is. I love it. One of these days I'll show a big display with all my hiss and everybody. All right, so then he's got that little pistol, that laser pistol. I'm going to put it into this holster on his left thigh, and then he has all of his equipment. He's got all these 3 pieces of equipment, so they're all going to go on the backpack as well. And this so far is an excellent piece of figure because it has a place for all the equipment, which you guys know that I love when you can get all the gear on the figure and it there's no loose gear. I love that. You guys know that. And this is no different because all those little things plug right into his back. All those little pieces of gear that he can use to fix things plug right into there. And that gun is in that holster right there. So at this point, everything that's supposed to come with this Techno Viper, the 788 Fire Techno Viper, everything is on him. We've got all his gear on there. He has all the same articulation points, the butterflied shoulders, the double pinned elbows and knees, the foot rockers, the second ankle articulation, the thigh and calf articulation. He's got the wrist articulation, the crotch and the leg articulation. He's got the ab crunch and the head rocker articulation as well. And again, with the head, I like those flared out little things in the helmet. I like all the little details, all the little tubes with the deco on it. I like the detail in the pants where you can see pouches and stuff like that. And in the boots, there's a lot of layering with those boots as well. It looks really good. I'm very anticipating what my vintage Techno Viper is going to look like once we get it out of the package, but it is awesome. So there you go. There's the HMS with Techno Viper. There's only one more thing that I want to show. And because he has all these computer things on his arm, these little computer readout things, that's where this little computer panel with all that detail plugs in right here. So it's like a hologram. So you can turn that, plug that in there, and he has a readout of the equipment that he's using and what he's doing. So you don't need to have that on all the time, but I'm going to put it on him just because I think it looks kind of cool. And I like the Techno Viper. So you can go like this. You can kind of go like that and make him look at that. And he's reading that and looking at it. And because he's got this device and he's got this vehicle, he's going to be looking at that to make sure the schematics and the readouts are strong. Now I'm going to get a stand for him. Put him on a stand here. One and two. There, and there you go. So you have your fire team. Let me check. I'll see if I can see what it is. I'm not sure. I have that figure over here because it's coming up very shortly in preparation, but let's see. It's red. The other version is red. Sean Jones. That one is red. The one that comes with this is orange, but the one that comes with the regular one is red. But so there you go. There's your 788 fire team and 788 HMS with Techno Viper. You're welcome. And we'll be putting that with our hiss up there. I've got to rearrange my hiss in order to get all that up there for that display, but it'll look really cool when it's all done. I may have to move Coco out of the way, but we'll see how it goes. But I dropped a missile down there, and I think I dropped something, my Arctic, something with my Arctic snow serpent yesterday, and I forgot to pick it up. Cool. Switch around whenever. Yeah, when you want to make different looks. Yeah, I think that's definitely. I think you have a lot of options with all these guys because this is awesome. I think this is a really cool subset, and it really shows that the classified line is looking down the line. They're looking to make this a much more playable, modular, using photography, using the modulability of all this stuff. They're really looking at it from a lot of that aspect, and I have to give them props because this is two really beautiful sets with that HISS tank. That HasLab HISS tank looks phenomenal, I've got to say. It's going to be challenging to get all this up there, but we'll do it. But what else can I do with it? I don't play with these that often. This is the only time I get to look at this stuff and play with it and do things, and I'll showcase them when they come in, but that's about it. So I'm really happy that we're doing this, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit of a long video, but I thought it was worth it to do these two together to talk about this. Do you think we could get something similar like this theme, like a Joe theme maybe? Because we do have the MMS now, we do have vehicles, but trying to come up with like a green shirt squad, different green shirts with different accessories and different equipment, and then like a couple weapon systems and stuff. Do you think they would do that for Joe like they did with Cobra? I think it's an interesting thing to think about because there's a lot of weapon systems that have come out with Joe that we haven't gotten. We haven't gotten the flak, we haven't gotten the Hal. There's a lot of the pack rats we haven't gotten. So there are a lot of Joe like weapon system type things. There's that big launching thing with those two big missiles, that guidance system thing that came out. We never got the rapid mobile attack. Yeah, there you go. The RMA. That works for me, Sean Jones. But I think we should have something like that. Now that we have green shirts and we have all kinds of different Joes, I think some sort of a squad of Joes that are green shirts would make sense. Have some of them come with the rocket packs, and have some of them come with different flaks and hals and things like that. Pack rats, different green shirts with those, and do them differently. Make them obviously green shirts, but kind of mix and match the decos on a lot of that stuff. Um, the Hasbro team did say we're going to get another bivouac, a more accurate bivouac playset. So that goes to show you they are willing to do things to expand the playability of this line. And who would come with that bivouac? That's an interesting thing. Who would come with that bivouac? And would they do another one for the desert since we got the Arctic? So there's a lot of playability and ideas that we could get with this. But this whole Cobra 788 makes my mind really imagine all the possibilities that we could possibly get. But we definitely need a Joe equivalent. Um, it just makes sense. And maybe we could do a whole desert uh, uh, idea like this and an Arctic idea like this. Maybe do the MMS in Arctic with a different figure, and then maybe do it in desert with another figure. That should be cool. Pack rats with a green shirt technician. There you go. See, there you go. That's exactly it. They want to get reuse out of a lot of these molds. I don't see them not doing stuff like that. B-Style 33. Hello, good morning. You're a new person in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel so we can grow the channel. Do you collect the 7-inch Super 7? Oh, yes, I do. The Ultimates? Yeah, I do. I have all of them. They're kind of underneath this big display here on the bottom. Why? Do you have a question about the Ultimates? I love the Ultimates. They're only going to do the Ultimates as like weird, like convention or one-off like exclusives from now on, because they felt they were impeding the classified line. But they've done some really good ones. The Crimson Guard is my favorite one out of that, but they're really beautiful. They did about 12 or 13, maybe closer to 20 Ultimates, and I have all of them except for the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Red Knock and Red Jackal. I can't seem to find that anywhere. I missed them when they came out originally. So those are the two that I'm looking for avidly at conventions and different places. So if any of you guys have those and you're willing to sell them, let me know. You can reach me on Messenger, David T. Allen. Just bought the Blue Baroness last week. Now I have 4. Wow. Well, you got a long way to go because there's like 20 something of those, but they are beautiful. They're very animated style, very animated deco, very animated equipment and accessories. So, but it's fine. They've used that Baroness mold 3 times with a regular Baroness, a early version like Blue Baroness, and then the Red Knock Baroness, which is a blue, which is a red Baroness from Palatoy era. They're great for the cartoon series lovers. Yep, that's exactly what they are. And then there's a couple of things that were never made in the cartoon, like the Storm Shadow version 2 Storm. That was never done, but it is inspired by the cartoon. The same with Red Jackal and Red Knock and the Python, Destro, and Tiger Force Flint, all inspired by the animation, but never appeared in animation. So I love the fact that Super 7 did stuff like that. And that's the cool thing about Super 7. And if you guys haven't had the opportunity, in the library, there is my interview that I did with Brian Flynn on the other day, the fall 2025 Super 7 interview with him about all things Super 7. I did not get to ask him about Ultimates, but he did say that in a previous interview that he would only be doing them as exclusive releases through like San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, Joe Fest, and one-offs like that through maybe Big Bad Toy Store or what have you. So, and Walmart, in fact, because we got a Red Shadow through there. That is another Palitoy figure. So they've done 3 Palitoy figures. You guys have any questions about 788 team, squad, HMS, Techno Viper, any of this stuff here before we get this rolling? I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. I hope everybody enjoyed this deep dive into the 788 faction. It's been very fun for me, and I look forward to fixing these guys up there with my HISS tank. If not, then we will get this rolling. We have a big video starting next week on Monday, and all the next 5 to 7 videos will be all new, all awesome, really cool characters and interesting new items to the line. So Classified is going to be delving into a lot of new, not a lot of reuse in the near future. So I think that's going to be really cool for you guys, and it'll lead us into the holidays, and it'll be a lot of fun to play with a lot of this stuff and enjoy a lot of this stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series, this Classified review series. We should be getting another comic book episode fairly shortly. We'll go over the newest comics from Skybound. And I'm always trying to get interviews with people that have worked on this brand in different aspects, comics, the toys, different iterations of the toys, and different Kickstarter projects and fun things that have come out over the years as well. So look for those interviews. And I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining me in the chat again, and adding and contributing and asking questions in the chat. It makes these videos a lot better when I can talk to you guys and answer questions and try to add details about this brand. Thank you, everybody, after the fact. The replay crew, you guys are wonderful, asking questions and so on as well. Rockman Chris? Or is it RAKA Man Chris? You're a new person in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. I very much appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have the opportunity. Channel was in my recommendations, so I figured I'd check it out. Cool to see how the other side of our hobby live. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, we all have our own collecting ways and how we enjoy this brand. So it's always excellent to see how other people collect and enjoy this brand. And it's unique to every one of us. It's not the same. So thank you for that comment. And thank you for joining us today in the chat. Sean Jones. Thanks, Dave. Have a great day. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it again. And so we will see you guys on the next one. So this is a big Cobra 788 video. So, Hail Cobra! See you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot.